Ramin Djawadi is a German composer of Iranian descent. He is best known for composing scores to television series such as Game of Thrones, Prison Break, and working with legendary screenwriter Jonathan Nolan's Person of Interest. Ramin was born on July 19th in West Germany to an Iranian father and German mother. As a kid, he was naturally gifted playing guitar and piano, and he once stated that he has been composing music ever since he was a kid, just randomly making up melodies. Whether he would forget them or remember them, but just randomly making up melodies. And also watching movies such as Star Wars and going to the movies, he would notice the film scores in the movies, and it would stick with him. So from then on, he decided that he would become a music composer. So after graduating high school, he decided to apply for and attend Berklee College of Music in 1994. Berklee College of Music is currently known as the largest independent institution of contemporary music. It is also considered to be the mecca of jazz studies and American music. While he was attending Berklee College of Music, he was able to maintain a near perfect academic record, and he graduated summa cum laude in 1998 from the institute. After graduating from Berklee College of Music, he was assigned to compose for a first-person shooter video game known as System of Shock 2 with Josh Randall and Eric Brosius. After working with Josh Randall and Eric Brosius on the video game, he was noticed by Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer then invited him to work for his production company called Remote Control Productions. His production company was earlier known as Media Ventures. While he was working there, he was assigned to work with fellow German composer Klaus Badelt, who was already famous for his contributions to the movies Gladiator and Mission Impossible 2. In the year of 2003, Ramin moved to Los Angeles and he became an assistant for Klaus Badelt. There, the two worked on films such as Beat the Drum in 2003. He also worked with Hans Zimmer in 2004 for the film Thunderbirds. He also worked with the two on movies such as Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, and the Academy Award nominated film Something's Gotta Give. After working with Zimmer on the movie Thunderbirds, most of Ramin's productions became independent. One of Ramin's earliest independent productions for Hollywood was his score for David S. Goyer's 2004 movie Blade Trinity, which is the third installment of the Blade series, starring Wesley Snipes. Djawadi continued to work for Goyer with Goyer. Later on in his life, working for Goyer, he did the scores for the movies The Unborn and Flash Forward, both in the same year of 2009. Because of his work with Goyer on the Blade Trinity, he earned a contract working to compose a score for Blade the series. In 2005, Ramin earned his big break when he composed for the highly popular TV series Prison Break. The score was even nominated for Outstanding Original Main Title Theme Music at the 2006 Primetime Emmy Awards. Also in the year 2006, Ramin scored the first Sony animation project, Open Season, along with working on the scores for the second movie, Open Season 2, in 2008. He also worked on the scores for the movie Deception, starring Hugh Jackman and Ewan McGregor, and also he did Ask the Dust by Robert Towne. His next big break came in the year of 2008. Ramin Djawadi was hired to work to compose for Iron Man for Marvel Studios. He was extremely excited about the score, considering that he has been a diehard Iron Man fan ever since he was a little kid, and he's always kept up with the comics ever since the late 70s. For that movie, he composed a very guitar-heavy score that was initially composed almost entirely on guitar. And he also composed for the $400 million blockbuster film Pacific Rim. In the year 2010, Ramin completed working for Warner Brothers, working on the movie Clash of the Titans. In that same year, he also scored, working on the soundtrack for the video game Medal of Honor. In the year 2011, he was selected to work on to compose the scores for HBO's fantasy drama Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is an American fantasy drama television series created by David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. It is an adaptation from George R.R. Martin's series of fantasy novels, A Song of Ice and Fire. It is filmed in the first season of Game of Thrones is filmed in Belfast and elsewhere in Northern Ireland, Canada, Croatia, Iceland, Malta, Morocco, Scotland, Spain, and even in the United States. The series follows, it has a large ensemble cast, and it centers on three primary story arcs. The first story arc centers on the Iron Throne of the Seven Kingdoms and follows a web of alliances and conflicts among the dynastic noble families, either vying to claim the throne or fighting for independence from the throne. But that's neither here or there. So, Ramin has been working on Game of Thrones ever since the beginning in 2011. With each season, he has been composing new scores based off of the old scores that he used for previous seasons. He also garnered such intense popularity. The scores that he did garnered intense popularity that it was almost immediately covered by several enthusiasts on YouTube and other social platforms worldwide. He also composed for the video game version with the same score. Also in that same year of 2011, he of course worked on CBS crime drama Person of Interest. He also worked on FX drama series The Strain, created by Pacific Rim director Guillermo del Toro. Djawadi is also famous for his works in the video game industry as well. After his 1999 composition for System Shock 2, Ramin composed the score for EA Games' first-person shooter Medal of Honor in 2010. He also composed the score to the game's sequel Medal of Honor Warfighter in 2012. In the year 2011, Ramin composed the score to the highly famous racing game Shift 2 Unleashed. In the year of 2016, Ramin was hired to compose the score to Duncan Jones' movie Warcraft. Also in the same year, he was hired to work on another popular HBO show, Westworld. He composed the opening theme, well, basically all the music for Westworld, in the year 2016, and also for the second season that came out in 2018. Ramin was excited to work on the series Westworld because he got a chance to work with Jonathan Nolan again, besides doing Person of Interest. Nolan serves as executive producer of the show alongside with J.J. Abrams and Brian Burke. The main theme song of Westworld uses a blend of bass notes and light arpeggios and melody, all of which complements the idea of an amusement park. The first season of Westworld prominently features a reworking of popular songs for piano and strings. Among the songs are Kanye West's Runaway, Radiohead's No Surprises, Fake Plastic Trees, Peach Rhyme Rag by Scott Joplin, and even some songs by Debussy, just to name a few. Also, another fun fact about Ramin, he says that he has a rare sensory condition known as synesthesia, where he may associate colors with music or music with colors, and it allows him to visualize music even more. Overall, Ramin Djawadi's contribution to music professionally is outstanding. He has composed and produced over 100 soundtracks and film scores for both film and television. His work has gotten him a few nominations from Emmys and other Academy Award winning shows, and he is the most sought out composer for film and television and even video games. Ramin Djawadi is also the first television composer in history to receive his own live orchestral tour around the United States, which is centered exclusively on the soundtrack of a television series, Game of Thrones, which is also going on right now. He has received high acclaim from fans, musicians, and critics alike during his run in the show, but his recognition peaked after the season 6 finale of Game of Thrones, The Winds of Winter. Some more of his other major works for video games include Thief 2 in the year 2000, both Game of Thrones and Gears of War in 2016. For television series, he is currently doing composing the score for Jack Ryan, and he did scores for Breakout Kings in the year 2011 to 2012. He did Threshold, The Grid, and Person of Interest, and he won a few awards. He won an award for Prison Break and Batman Begins and Mr. Brooks and Open Season, just to name a few. He also did Saving Jessica Lynch, Buffalo Dreams, and Prison Break, The Final Break.